Season 2, Episode 1, let's hit it. Got a goal and you just can't hit it? Well, Philip here and we'll help you get it. Learn the goal achievement success system here on Goal Getting Podcast and put some gas in your goals to power you to the finish line. Learn how to use gas in your goals with your guide, Tony Woodall, as he provides tips, strategies, and inspiration with quote and advice from experts to help you get the goals you set. Let's go, friends. Rev up your engines and let's take off for success. Hello and welcome back. It's Season 2 of Goal Getting Podcast. Hi, this is Tony, and I want to thank you for visiting Goal Getting Podcast. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the launch of Goal Getting Podcast. I can't believe it's been 1 year since I launched the show. I really want to thank you. It is our 1-year anniversary. I'm so excited to have you back. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. We are starting Season 2. As I mentioned, 1-year anniversary on February 25th of 2015 is when I launched the podcast. It went on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and many of the others. We just recently signed up for Google Play Music. That will be featuring podcasts. So if you're an Android user, you'll soon be able to get Goal Getting Podcast on Google Play Music. I hope they start it pretty soon. They've got a lot of podcasters lining up to get in there and get approved and get published. Mine is out there. It's approved. It's published. So hopefully you'll start getting that on your Android Google Play. Thank you very much for listening. Those of you who've been hanging around while we were on winter break, I do want to thank you for hanging. I want to thank you for your support. It means a great deal to me. I want to let you know, this is Season 2. I took a winter break, needed to relax a little bit, needed to concentrate on some things that I'm trying to work on. And I want to let you know that, I had a great year last year. 2015 was a phenomenal year. Being able to start this podcast meant the world to me. It was a goal that I had set in 2014 when I found out about podcasts again. I used to be a podcaster in 2004 and 2005, and I'd forgotten all about it. I got busy, dropped the podcast. It was really just something to play around with because I had heard Adam Curry on his podcast talking from his home in, I think, Sweden at the time, and he was talking about being able to get this big word of his out on, a podcast. I didn't know what it was, but I found out how to do it, and I did it for, 6 or 8 months, and then just got too busy and stopped. But, when I found out about it again in 2014, I decided I wanted to get my message across. I had been doing seminars for the Goal Getting, and the Goal Getting podcast was actually a seminar series that I put together and did for, delivered to, loan officers and realtors and community organizations, chambers of commerce and things like that. And I really wanted to get that out to more people. And podcasting was the method. When I found out it was on iTunes, it was just amazing. So that's what I set as my goal. And I'd set several goals after that. I listened to, a lot of the podcasters on, iTunes and learned a little bit about them. John Lee Dumas was a big influencer of me and my podcast. So I joined his mastermind group and got that going. And it was just been amazing. So I want to thank you for following us. The other thing I did, it was a year of action for me in 2015. I decided that not only was I going to start my podcast, I actually had a book that I had been writing. I'd had it in my computer since 2006 or 7. I started the outline for it and started writing it and never finished it. Again, it was along the lines of setting goals and goal achievement. It was my 9 steps to successful goal achievement that I had put together through years of study of motivational speakers and goal setting, programs that I had attended and some hypnotherapy. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I put together these 9 steps that I thought went further than most people that set goals had, including SMART goals. And if you're familiar with SMART goals, it's the 5 critical elements of a goal. It has to be specific, has to be measurable, has to be achievable, it has to be realistic, and it has to be time-bound. And those are great features of a goal, great characteristics that you have to have involved in your goal, but it wasn't enough to really help most people achieve their goals. They're the minimum, in my opinion. So I came up with what I thought, based on my training in hypnotherapy and the subconscious mind and learning more about that, ways to use other areas and other characteristics that would help you get the goals you set. And that's where we started our goal achievement success system. But I started setting that up and have been using this program for years. And when I started my podcast in 2015, I decided to write that book. So I completed the book, got it up on Amazon.com. You can actually go out there and check it out and download it from Amazon. Right now it's 99 cents. I am going to raise the price soon since it's been out there a year. So I want you to go out there and get it now while you can for only 99 cents. The other thing, that I did is I had a year of action. I published my book on Amazon, 9 Steps to Successful Goal Achievement. I launched my podcast. We've had over 60,000 listens in the 1 year. By the time this airs, we will be over 60,000 listens. And to me, that's amazing. I never thought I would be able to reach that many people and that type of an audience. So I'm very excited about that. We also achieved some other goals that I had. I had started Toastmasters and I wanted to be able to become a competent communicator, which is one of the areas, but I also wanted to become a great speaker, a better speaker. So I entered contests in Toastmasters and I actually won the Toastmasters Area E4 International Speakers Contest, International Speech Contest. That was just amazing. And my goal was to go to the top, which is the World Championship speaker in Toastmasters International. And to let you know, I'm actually starting to compete again. Next week, I have my first club challenge for the International Speech Contest, and I'm going to go further this year than I did last year. That's my goal. But I did win that. I also major change in careers. I was not enjoying what I was doing. In 2014, I had an aha moment where I said, I need to find out what I want to do. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. I did not enjoy going to work. The company was great. I loved where I worked. I loved the people. I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere or doing anything substantial in my life. And I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't, didn't have that passion anymore for what I was doing. So I got to thinking as I went and had this aha moment about podcasting, I started thinking, what do I need to do to make myself feel fulfilled, to feel happy, to feel successful? What is the one thing or the positions that I had been doing in my life where I was the happiest? Where did I feel that I was accomplishing something, that I was enjoying what I was doing, that it wasn't work, it was fun. When was that? And I realized that I had been doing that in a sales role and where I was doing speaking. I had actually wanted to be a teacher and I enjoyed teaching, and I did that a lot for software companies. And within my career as a CIO, I actually did a lot of teaching for technology as we were growing into, a very large company. I started as a one-person shop and built up. So I did enjoy teaching, and I taught software development and programming for a software firm that I worked for. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed meeting people. I enjoyed networking. I had become a loan officer. I like getting out and talking to people, helping people. Again, part of that training and teaching people. When I was a loan officer, I taught my clients more about, how to improve their credit. I did work with the realtors to present programs about improving your credit to help them build their client base. But I love that sort of presentation where I could get out and talk with people, where I could get out with networking. I became very active in networking groups, became an ambassador for Business Networking International, BNI. I loved it and I thrived on that. I was the happiest. I did marketing. I bought a franchise called Coffee News and did ad development and created ads and sold ads to the newspaper. And I loved that, going out, interacting with businesses, helping people grow. And I realized that's what I need to do. That's what I was happiest when I was training people or when I was networking, when I was building the communities or working in the community. That is what I needed to do to be happy. So what did I do? I went out and started thinking, I want to get that kind of a role. So I started practicing. I became very active in social media. I had taken a social media marketing course, and it really lit a fire within me, fire in my belly. And I just really wanted to get into that. So I started building a social media presence like my teacher had told me, Michael Brito, and it just thrived. And I just really was loving it. And I'm very competitive with myself and everybody else. And I started working on that, and I decided this is what I need to do. I need to be doing something in social media, networking, community building, where I can get out and work in the community, train people, do social media type work. And I like blogging. I like writing. I wanted to write another book. I've got some other ideas. So I also decided to do that. Well, in my career change, I won't say lucked on it, but it really wasn't luck. My good friend Eugene that I currently work for was our community manager in our office, and he got promoted, and was doing very well. So I actually referred some of my marketing education, my training people that I went to courses in social media marketing for some positions. And I was asking him one day, I said, how are things going? And he said they weren't doing well. But anyway, long story short, I ended up applying for the job, got the job, and now I am an internal community manager for the same company, a great company with good people, having a great time. I love what I do here in San Francisco, and it is wonderful. So that was a big change for me, changing careers completely from what I was doing. The other thing that I did, my goal is to become a paid motivational speaker. I recently in January finished my first paid assignment, or I got paid to speak for an organization. That felt really good. And I also had 2 articles published on the Good Men Project. You can check those out on my podcast website, goalgettingpodcast.com. I have links to those. But I've got 2 articles out on the Good Men Project. And the great thing was my first one got picked up by another blog that wanted to, republish it. So I got put on the mamamia.au blog out in Australia, one of the top women's blogs out there, because my article was something that they liked and wanted to repost. So I became not only a paid public speaker and a winning speaker, I also became a published blogger and published author as well. So I had a great year. And the point is, it's a year of change for me, and I want to continue helping you get the goals you set. So this year in season 2, we're going to talk about one of my next goals, because I want to kind of focus this season on specific areas, specific topics, specific goals that you may have, you may share with me. My goal this year, my primary goal that I have, is to get in better shape, better wellness. And I'm focusing on wellness for the first part of season 2. I have a hashtag that I use, and I will be using throughout the series on wellness, called Work on Wellness. So it's hashtag Work on Wellness. If you want to follow that on Twitter, listen for that. You'll be able to get my tweets. On Facebook, I'll have it there, but most of my social media content that I'm dealing with the podcast is going to be related to working on wellness. As most of you know, if you've listened to me before, I am a diabetic. I became diabetic, type 2 diabetic, because I didn't take care of myself when I was working for my other goals. And I want to get better, in better shape. Now, diabetes can kill. I know that. My doctors, I have some good doctors in Atlanta and now in San Francisco, but, one of my old doctors, when he tried to get me to do anything, he says, which leg do you want me to cut off first? Because that's one of the symptoms, or, the things that you can lead to, is having to have your feet or legs cut off. So he kind of jokingly said, oh, which leg do you want me to cut off first? And I don't obviously want either one of them cut off, but he had that kind of a bedside manner, and we were very, close and been working with each other for a while. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to what I needed to, and my diabetes had grown out of control because I had gotten overweight. But my goal this year is to get my A1C below 6.0, has been as high as 13, I believe, maybe a little bit higher, which is not good. So, now the side benefit of this work on wellness that I'm going to be is weight loss. I do have weight to lose, and that's not my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to work on my wellness and to achieve this area where my A1C is below 6.0, preferably below 5 if it'll go that low. I want to lose weight. That's part of what I have to do to be able to get to that point. So weight loss is not my why. When I say why, that's one of the things we talk about in the goal achievement success system that we're going to be talking about in this session, in this season, is my goal achievement success system. You have to know your why. My why is not to lose weight. My why is wellness. I don't want to be a diabetic anymore. I'm tired of it. I want to live a longer, healthier life. And I also want to save money. My goal, my main why is to get, better health, but also to get off the diabetes medicine. It is expensive to be a diabetic. It is costing me over $200 a month for all of the medicines that I have to take. And if you have diabetes type 2 and you can't afford that because you don't have insurance or whatever the reason, that's expensive. It's tough. There are people out there, you may be one of them, that can't afford the type of medicine that you need to keep yourself alive or to keep yourself in, better health. And that could be devastating. And I don't want to have to worry about that. So that's my goal. That's my why of this goal. So I did have a couple goals that I did not achieve last year that I had set. One was to create and deliver a webinar for a free goals course. I've bought the domain for freegoalscourse.com, and you need to pay attention to the podcast because I do plan to do that this year. Very early this year, I'll be doing a webinar so we can get together and interact about how to lose weight, how to use the goal achievement success system to get where you want to go with your weight, to get the goals you set. I was also working on putting out an online course. I was working on that, but I got busy with the podcast and other things and with my new job and, loving doing all those, but I really need to get that done and finished this year. I need to take the action steps that I need to. So that's on my radar this year for my goals. I've got 3 main goals. That's my wellness. That's my big goal that we'll be talking about. And then also to create the free goals course as part of this podcast series. And then also to do the online course to help you and others going forward. Season 2 will focus on wellness, as I mentioned. And if your goal is wellness, I will help you do it, folks. I lost back in 2012. I lost 40 pounds in 16 weeks. Now, I'm going to talk to you about how to lose 40 pounds in 20 weeks. 16 weeks was a very intensive program that I put myself on. I'm going to give you an extra 4 weeks, so that's about 5 months to get 40 pounds off, if that's what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you how I did that, how I went about getting those how I went about getting that weight off so that we could do that. And using the goal achievement success system is what I used. And that's what we're going to talk about in season 2. We're going to be talking about the goal achievement success system, and I'm going to show you how to use it and put GASS, as I call it, in your goals to power you to the finish line. So I'll be referring to GASS. That's my goal achievement success system. GASS the first thing is my 9 steps to successful goal achievement. You need to learn what those 9 steps are. So we'll be covering each one of those 9 steps. They are all very, very important steps. We'll talk about those. The second part of the goal achievement success system is the 3 keys to successful goal setting. And what we do is we take those 9 steps and make them into 3 very powerful keys to help you set goals accurately and correctly to make it work for you. And the 3 keys are the what. What is the goal that you want to achieve? What do you need to do? And we get into the different 9 steps that fall within the what. The second part of that is the how. What is the action plan for goal achievement that you have to do? All goals require action. You can't just wish, because if you don't have the action, you're not going to get it done. There are certain steps in most goals that you set that you have to do to achieve that. And that's what the how is, outlining the specific steps that you have to follow to be able to do that. So we'll talk about how you go about achieving the goals. What steps do you need to take? The third part of this key, the third key, and one of the most important one, is the why. Why do I want to achieve this goal? And I just spoke about the why for my wellness goal. I am working on wellness because I want to get my A1C down to below 6.0. I want to get off my diabetes medicine. That's the why for me that I want to do that. Yeah, I'll be a lot lighter. I'll have, weight loss. I'll be in smaller waist pants, or whatever. I'll look better. that's not really my why. My why is I want to be able to live longer. I want to be able to get there. And that's one of the things you have to concentrate on, because without your why, you can lose your way. As Gloria Hyatt has been known to say, Michael Hyatt's wife, she talks about that. People who lose their why lose their way. We're going to be talking about how to keep your why and focus on that so you can stay motivated and you can stay inspired when things get rough. The third part of the Goal Achievement Success System is the Mental Bank Program, and you may have heard me mention that on earlier podcast episodes. The Mental Bank Program is key to changing your subconscious mind. How many of you have tried to set goals? You've done everything you think you can, and for whatever reason, something comes up and you just don't ever achieve it, and you get to thinking and you really start feeling negative thoughts, negative limiting beliefs. It's all part of your subconscious mind. And I like to say, don't let your mind play goalie for the other team, where you've got these goals, you're trying to get them into the net, and next thing you know, your mind goes up there and slaps those puppies out of the net, and you don't achieve your goal. So we're going to talk about how to overcome that subconscious mind, how to reprogram it, how to reset it. And the first part of that is understanding how the subconscious mind works and how it can play for the other team. The second part we're going to be talking about with the Mental Bank Program is using the Mental Bank Ledger. We have a tool that you can use to help you build up the belief systems that your mind needs to be able to succeed, to be able to achieve those goals, to do things that your mind thinks you can't do. And we're going to talk about using that Mental Bank Ledger to take it to the bank, take your goals to the bank and win. The other thing is using the magic 30 minutes. And I'm going to talk about the magic 30 minutes. It's not what you think, but it is the last 30 minutes before you go to bed. We're going to talk about how using the Mental Bank Ledger and using that last 30 minutes in your most suggestible time, you can take those things that you're working on in your Mental Bank Ledger and put those into your subconscious mind through some subconscious hypnotherapy type techniques that we use. And I will go through that, and it's very powerful. It has helped me change my mind from being a second degree or second place person to number one and being able to achieve my goal. So we're going to go through that in this season and help you get the goals you set with your weight loss. So we're going to go through the GASS. We're going to show you how to work it for, you to get your wellness goals for me. And then also you can follow through as we discuss what I do. Now, I'm going to be talking about weight loss, but if you're not into weight loss and you're not working on that or not on fitness, you can use these same techniques for all of the goals. They're all tied in. They're all the same process, the same techniques that we're talking about can use with any goal. So we're going to focus on this one wellness goal that I'm working on, but we're going to continue to go through these steps, and you can think about how those go. So don't just go off and come back later. And when we start talking about another goal that we want to achieve, what I want you to do is focus on what we're talking about on this wellness path that I'm on. If you need to go on one, let's go together. Let's do it. All right. So what I want to do is, whatever goal you have, whether it's weight loss, career growth, starting a business, the process, as I said, is the same. So what are you going to need to follow along with me? I'm going to recommend you get my 9 steps poster. I got 9 steps to successful goal achievement in a poster format that lists each of the steps. You can download that off of our podcast website. You can go to goalgettingpodcast.com/poster, P-O-S-T-E-R. You can put your email in. I'll email you that poster and you'll be able to print that off. I have a copy on my office wall and my wall at work so that I can see those 9 steps to remind me when I set goals and what I'm working on. So I just keep those front and center for me to do that. The other thing I'm going to recommend you download is the goal setting worksheets. That's getting and understanding how to do the what, the why, and the how. And you can get those by going to goalgettingpodcast.com/action, ACTION, and it will you enter your email address and we'll email you the link to download those goal setting worksheets where we talk about the what, the why, and the how. And part of that is the goal tracking worksheets, because one of the key elements of the 9 steps is measure it, track it, to be able to track your goals. What gets measured and gets done is what Tom Peters said, and we're going to talk about that. And I want you to, download these items, get those in. And the other is the mental bank ledgers. You can download those from goalgettingpodcast.com/MBL. If you download those, you'll have the mental bank ledger. I'm going to go ahead and try to put all these together into one download for the Goal Achievement Success System and get that out there where you can download them all. And in next episode, I will tell you how you can download them all at one time. But go out and get at least the goal setting worksheets at goalgettingpodcast.com/action, because that's what we're going to concentrate in the next episode of how to fill those out, how to actually start planning your goals, how to set the goals correctly so that you can get the goals you set. So that's our program for season 2. We're going to talk about wellness. I'm going to be working on wellness. I want you to follow along with me. I want you to, get the material that you need. Go out there and download that. Come back with us. I'm going to be on here tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about this. We're going to have our Goal Achievement Success System going in season 2. We're going to be doing it on this format. We're going to go Monday through Friday. I'm going to talk about a quote. We were doing the quote of the day, still going to do quotes 5 days a week. And we're going to have the podcast 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You'll be able to download the podcast. Go ahead and subscribe on iTunes. You can go to goalgettingpodcast.com/iTunes. Subscribe to the show. If you're not an iTunes listener, you can get it on SoundCloud, Stitcher, different platforms out there. Get a copy of it and listen to it. Subscribe wherever you're at and listen to us daily. Monday through Friday, we are going to put these out there for you. We're going to talk about a quote, one that inspires me, and I'll tell you a little bit about the feelings of that quote. And then we will also go into how to set up the Goal Achievement Success System for working for you and what kind of action. I'm going to be your accountability partner. You're going to be mine. I'm going to tell you what I did this week because we're going to be tracking it throughout the week, throughout the day. And I will be talking about, our tracking worksheet as well as the mental bank ledger and how we do that and what I'm going to be doing when I fill out my mental bank ledger every night in that magic 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes before I go to sleep. So we're going to a lot to do. I don't want to go too much further. I'm going to respect your time. This is probably going to be one of the longest episodes for season 2 because it is the intro to season 2. I'm excited about what we're going to be doing. I think we can really get out there, get the goals you set. If you have a wellness plan that you want to get to, if that's one of your goals is to work on your wellness, join me, #work on wellness. Join me on the show Monday through Friday. Periodically I'll do some, Periscope. If you're not familiar with Periscope, Google Periscope, and you can get on a Periscope with me. I'm at Goals Podcast on the Periscope. You'll be able to follow my broadcast on Periscope, and periodically I'll throw out a blab. And if you're not familiar with blab, it's a great way for people to communicate and have some sort of mini seminars or mini webinars where you can have up to 4 video feeds coming in talking. Maybe we can get together in a blab fest and talk about goals and things. So if you want to follow me on blab, I'm on there as well as at Goals Podcast as well. Follow us out there. Got a lot of things I want to do this season with you, and we will have a free goals course webinar so that I can do that. So I'll start working on setting that up. So I want you to follow me. I really do appreciate it. Follow us, leave a comment on our show notes page, leave a comment, a rating or review on iTunes if you want. I'd love to have it. I've got some great reviews from some of our listeners, and I really do appreciate those. But I'm going to tell you the quote today that I picked. People may say we're crazy for trying to achieve our dreams. Has anybody told you that? You got to be crazy for wanting to do that. People may call you names. They may say you're weird for trying to do what you want to do. But, today's quote is from Rob Siltanen, and it reminded me of these people who tell me I'm crazy when I want to do things. And the best part of it reminded me of people like you and me. And that's the most important part. So you probably have heard this before, guys. I think it's been on a commercial. It's also been taken apart and used by different people in it. But the full quote from Rob Siltanen is, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. That's from Rob Siltanen, and I just love that quote. As I read that, it really goes to the heart of what we're trying to do at Goal Getting Podcast. We want you to, if you have big dreams, if you have big goals, let's go get them. Let's go out there and get the goals you set. Don't let people tell you you can't do it. Don't let your subconscious mind tell you can't do that. We can change it. We can't change the people. Sometimes you have to ignore them. Sometimes you have to just not pay attention, but we can always change our own mind, and we can change our subconscious mind to be a goal-getting machine, and that's what we're going to teach you to do on Goal Getting Podcast. This is Tony Woodall. I hope you've enjoyed listening. I have really enjoyed talking with you today. Again, this is probably the longest. I don't want to go longer than 20 minutes on most of the podcast episodes for season 2, as I talk about a quote and go into ways to get the goals you set using the Goal Achievement Success System. So let's go out, put some gas in our goals, and get to the finish line. Let's do this the right way. Now, when we're talking about wellness, I'm going to throw this in as the last thing here. If you want to get on a wellness program, if you want to follow me, if you want to do anything, see your doctor. Be sure you know what you're doing. I'm going to be talking about how I lost 40 pounds in 16 weeks. That may not be for you. We're going to talk about some ways to do this. I went on a very strict 1,200 calorie a day diet at that point to be able to achieve that goal in that short of time. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow in the next episode and how I did that and start talking about it. But go see your doctor before you get started with any wellness program, any fitness program, any weight loss program. We want you to be healthy. We don't want you to do things you shouldn't do. Our goal is to help you get a better, healthy life, so not to make it a worse, healthy life. So be sure that you see your doctor. Make sure you're able to do this. And what I'm going to be talking about may not be for you. And we'll talk about how you can tailor this to yourself. But I did lose 40 pounds in 16 weeks. It took a lot. It took a lot of commitment, but I did it. And I'm going to tell you how and what you can do to do the same. Thank you again for joining us. I am very excited about season 2. Let me know what you think. Give me some comments, feedback. You can go out and leave it on our show notes page at goalgettingpodcast.com. S2E1, S2E1, season 2, episode 1. So S2E1 is the link to get there. So it's goalgettingpodcast.com/S2E1. Thank you very much, and go out and make today a great day.